Hello, everyone. Welcome to BayernNow, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. I'm here with a guest, a special guest, a man with a mustache. He needs no introduction. This is John from the Mustache. I believe the undefeated Mustache.
Yes,
So, how you
indeed.
doing, man?
I'm doing great. Things are looking good on the Barcelona end, so life is good. I'm waking up smiling, yeah, all good things. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I got here late because I was just getting a haircut because I thought this was a special moment, man. So I'm
Gotta
really
look fresh, gotta look clean, right?
Yeah. I'm loving your setup there. You got Puyol in the back,
Yes,
got the
sir.
nice little background. But
Yeah, absolutely. Got Ronaldinho back there as well.
oh yeah, that's one of my goats as well. I dude, you know ball, man. Is Messi your goat or what?
Yeah, yes, he is. Messi is my goat, but like we were sharing a little bit before the stream started. Uh, I too, I don't like to jump on the bandwagon. You know what I mean? So even though Messi was my guy, there were other players that became my favorites just because it's like, yeah, Messi's your favorite, but who else? You know what I mean? So yeah, Messi's my goat, but Ronaldinho, he's the one who got me into Barcelona. The goal against Chelsea in what was it, 2004 or 2005?
Dancing goal?
You got it. You got
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
man. That sealed it for me.
Yeah, Ronaldinho was something else. All right, so look, we're playing each other tomorrow. It's not
Yes.
gonna be smiles. Someone's gonna be crying after. Imagine if it's a draw and we're both just sitting there like, ah.
Yeah.
The way these fixtures have been going over the last few years, Barcelona, Bayern, we're not really seeing any draws.
No. No.
In fact, I'd say it's one-sided. But in 2015, you smoked us. You know, we had Pep Guardiola. You had um, you had a really good team. You had MSN, but this is a different Barcelona than the one Bayern played a year ago. So this is a combined 11. But before we get into that, we could talk about the team a little bit. Don't worry, everyone. We got the graphics. Everything's set. You know, we're going to be talking about right back, center back, who's the better striker, left wing, right wing, cam, all that. That's going to be fun. But tell me something that's different about this Barcelona team from the one Bayern played 2 years ago or just last year.
Yeah, absolutely. So the obvious answer is the squad. We did a complete refresh, revamp over the last 18 months. Even the players that we brought in last January, some of them have already been turned over. So we got fresh faces, including Lewandowski. That's, of course, the big one. But Rafinha, Koundé, Kessié. We've got a Dembele that I've never seen before. This is the best version of Dembele. So aside from the players, it's the attitude. Xavi has changed the mentality. He's brought back that Pep Guardiola type mentality from that era. So we're seeing Barcelona having fun, enjoying football, and it's coming out on the pitch. You can see it.
Yeah, I have watched Barcelona. And by the way, I just want to apologize to the people that watched the preview yesterday because I came across as very unprofessional. Not in any of my analysis, but I have self-awareness. I said I said in that video, Savvy was almost the same age as Nagelsmann, so about 35. Savvy's 42. Now, I also said Savvy coached in Japan. He didn't coach in Japan. He coached in Saudi Arabia before Barcelona. Now, the reason I said that is because I was thinking of Iniesta and I mixed the two. So
Yep.
Iniesta is that I was like, why did I say Japan?
Yeah.
And I do watch Barcelona, right? And none of the things I said, right? The misinformation, words I was saying, Xavi's age and where he coached. None of the
Sure.
things I said had any bearing on my opinions of Xavi. I rate
Sure.
him highly. I think I was one of the few people outside the Barcelona fan base that said Xavi's the guy, and he's proving that. Because I literally watched one of those coaches' corners. I don't know what kind of video it was, but it was like he was just explaining some tactics. I was like, dude, this guy understands football. He was talking about pressing and how his team is supposed to play, and I'm like, he's not just like one of the greatest midfielders of all time. He actually understands the game from a tactical perspective. So I immediately got drawn in. That's what I meant. So yeah, I mean, I find the whole fan channel thing to be just fun, just a fun
Yeah.
hobby. It's not supposed to be professional, but I do pride myself in professionalism
Sure.
in knowing what I'm saying and not knowing the guy's age and then saying, here's
Dude,
what I said actually.
That happens to me all the time. I mean, you're the same way I am. When you put in the hours, when you're in front of the camera, particularly going live, you're gonna misspeak. You're gonna get confused. You're gonna be thinking about 1,000 things like managing the stream and this and that, and you kind of misspeak. It happens. I always tell people, like, I'm not here to be perfect. I'm not here to be right all the time. I'm here to have some good conversation, connect with folks. So I totally hear you on that, man.
Yeah, but I just think the whole fan channel thing, people are moving away from just watching TV and the ESPNs. They like watching people like us because we're just normal people. We're just saying what we don't have any associations to the club. I'm sure Barca haven't called you and said anything to you. You're
not recently, no.
Right. So anyways, let's move on to the actual preview, right? So you're telling me your team is better. Xavi has instilled the mentality into that team. And I can see that watching Barcelona, there's just way more energy in your games. I feel like all your attackers are just more dedicated to track back. Mm-hmm. And there's a more cohesive unit. Now, the off the field issues, pulling more levers than a factory, that could hurt you if you don't do great things this season. I think you need to succeed. That's why the club has taken a huge risk. Sold out future earnings. So you have to succeed in the now and potentially buy back those assets. So that's another thing. We're talking about the game tomorrow. Now, let's start with the formation.
Okay.
What I know Barca plays a 4-3-3, but what does it actually look like most of the times?
So it changes from defense to offense. Offensively, depending on where the lineup is or who's out there, I should say, very often we end up with more like a 3 or 2 in the back. Busquets sitting right in front of that back line. Our wing backs are pushed way up into the corners, and then the rest is just fluid through the middle. So it's hard to even define the formation. A 2-1-3-4, if those numbers line up. Sometimes it looks like that, but defensively, we always get back to a 4-3-3. And then our wings, whether it's Rafinha, Dembele, Ansu, whoever it is, will drop all the way back. And then Lewandowski, excuse me, that number 9, whoever it is, becomes that outlet pass. So 4-3-3 defensively, but transition into just about anything.
Right. I mean, that's what the best teams do. I don't know what formation City are playing half the times.
Yeah,
right?
Get out of here. They got midfielders playing strikers and strikers coming back.
Always rotating. I mean, even Bayern, we play 10 formations in 5 seconds. But all right, we play a 4-2-2. Recently, a 4-2-3-1. Nagelsmann is just like Pep in the sense that they want to experiment every game. Why not play the way you played well in the formation you played well in? He's literally moving our team to a 4-2-3-1, and he's trying to do these tweaks and add more verticality into our game. Yeah. So I'd say Bayern play a 4-2-2, which means I think the in between for that would be the 4-2-3-1. So I think that's the formation we should go with because I think Pedri would be considered an attacking midfielder, right?
Yeah. Pedri. I mean, he plays box to box, but out of the 3, typically when it's Pedri, Busquets, De Jong, Pedri, of course, is the most push forward.
Right. So
you could list him as an attacking mid. Absolutely.
Exactly. All right. So that was the main thing because I don't want to put a 4-3-3 here and then we can't get someone into the team that I want to get into the team. All right, let's get into it. Goalkeeper. This is the biggest position. And the interesting thing about this is that I think Hansi Flick is going to be in the stadium, not coaching us this time. But he's going to be looking out for the goalkeeper, whether Ter Stegen starts at the World Cup or Manuel Neuer. Mm-hmm. In recent years, I think Barca fans have rightly criticized Ter Stegen, whereas Neuer is still holding that world-class level. Now, he made one mistake this season, but he's Neuer. So, I mean, are you putting Ter Stegen in there or what?
If you asked me 3 months ago, or any time before that, going back like 2-3 years, I would have been Neuer because I'm one of those Barcelona fans that has to be honest, and you've seen kind of a decline of Ter Stegen. But I have been ranting and raving this season that Ter Stegen is back, that Xavi, again, has gotten in his head. He's found the way to motivate Ter Stegen. And I think also some of it is that he's got a brand new front four, a fresh front four. Our average age, I saw a stat somewhere on Twitter, our average age for our defense last season was 32, where this season it's 21. So
Damn.
you got to give credit to the back line as well. But Ter Stegen, clean sheet after clean sheet this year. You sprinkle in some bias as well, and I'm going Ter Stegen.
Well, the thing is, I mean, look, Neuer is still Neuer.
Sure.
Ter Stegen's strength for me was always his ability to pick out passes, but also one of his biggest weaknesses. So he can just, if the team's getting pressed, he's always trying to get a pass in between the lines, and it sometimes gets intercepted, and it's a big problem. Whereas Neuer, he's so much more reliable. I think in a bigger game, I don't think Ter Stegen has been tested.
I'll give you that. I think Neuer has had more opportunity on the big stage to prove himself. I think that's accurate.
Yeah, but let's not be unfair and look at Neuer's 2014 World Cup to judge his 2022 performance against Barcelona tomorrow. Let's try to stick to the last month or the last 3 months, like you said.
Yeah,
I think Neuer has more ability as a goalkeeper, and therefore, for me, would be more reliable than Ter Stegen. If I wanted to pick between two goalkeepers, it'd be Neuer all day. I wouldn't even look at Ter Stegen, not because he's not good, but because he still has that error in his game. Just because he's playing better now doesn't mean he doesn't have that Bozo gene where he could do something crazy. Even the Leroy Sané shot last season, where Sané's like 60 yards or something outside the goal, that shouldn't be a goal. Most goals,
I'm with you on that.
the way Sané hits the ball, the dip is always there, so it could confuse a goalkeeper. But Ter Stegen his arm goes up instead of just slapping the ball away. So that's the thing that would make me go with Neuer.
You said something at the beginning that I think is maybe winning me over. Neuer hasn't done anything wrong to lose that spot. I think it's Neuer's spot to begin with, right? Because we're looking at the two German goalkeepers, and I think that is also influencing our perception here. It's Neuer's spot. When the two of them are on the same club, it's Neuer's spot. He hasn't done anything to lose it. I think if we were hypercritical of Neuer, sometimes he gets a little wild coming out of the box. That's kind of for me, that's a live by the sword, die by the sword. It can lead to great things. It can lead to chaos.
It gets a heart attack in me every time.
Sure. Yeah. I hear you on that.
We're playing a game, we're vibing, and then Neuer is just at the halfway line trying to, clear the ball. So
that's maybe one flaw for him, right? But outside of that, I wouldn't be too uncomfortable going with Neuer. You could get me on that side.
Okay, so we're going with Neuer. I mean, look,
we'll go Neuer.
We're gonna have a war in the comment sections either way. We have over 100 people watching this. They're gonna be fighting.
Fantastic.
All right, let's go to right back, because this is a position that I would have said whatever player Barca has, that's the right back we're choosing. But this season, Benjamin Pavard has changed it. I mean,
World Cup winner.
He's reliable, huh?
He's a World Cup winner for France. People overlook that.
But Pavard, I mean, I don't know if you watch Bayern that much, but he was one of our weak points. He was very, very slow. He just one-dimensional. He wins a bunch of headers and clears the ball away, passes backwards. Attacking wise, he ain't there. This man is allergic to the halfway line. He can't go past it. So, but this season, defensively and offensively in some games, because of Nusar Mazraoui coming in, the Ajax guy. Ajax lost a lot of players to us this transfer window.
Yeah.
I would say Pavard is the guy I'm putting in here. But Mazraoui, he's another one. He's really good. But he's just not. Pavard is just keeping him out of the team with his performances. And Pavard's going to start for us tomorrow, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Who's your right back? I know you got 3 billion options, but no one's really a right back right now except Hector Bellerin.
Except for Hector Bellerin. So we just picked him up, former La Masia player, and now a decade later he comes back, makes his debut for Barcelona. I like him, don't love him. I think he's there. He's going to play all the mid-table and lower teams in La Liga. Copa del Rey might also be his. But any big matches when we're going up against Real Madrid, Atletico, Bayern Munich, you're going to see Koundé or Araujo, but more likely Koundé out at that right back position. And that's really just because of our lack of elite quality at right back. Like I said, Bellerin's good, not great. And the fact that we have a lot of center back options. Koundé, Araujo, Garcia, Christensen, even Kool-Aid don't like it, but PK is still an option. So we've got a lot of center backs,
Why don't Barca fans like PK anymore? I know you owe money, so they might just want him out, to save some money. But is it Shakira?
That's a big part of it. So I shouldn't even say Kool-Aid. I should say, let me clarify. Let me clarify what I mean by this. I shouldn't even say Kool-Aid. The casual Barcelona supporters have turned on PK. Some of it is the Shakira thing, and I think it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but some of it is the Shakira thing. But a big part of it is that PK, Jordi Alba, Roberto in particular have been seen as overpaid and underperforming for the last 2-3 seasons. So now that we've got these fresh players in, and you probably know this, you've experienced, I'm sure there's a sector of the Bayern Munich supporters that gets toxic quickly. Will turn on a player after one bad performance.
Yeah, dude. I experienced it yesterday.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Bayern fans are saying Goretzka's going to the media and trying to pressure Nagelsmann into getting into the starting 11, even though Goretzka just got back from injury. And dude, they're just making it up. But you're right. You do have fans that will do anything and have no reason for it. So you're saying that's why they don't like PK. He's old and he's just costing a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. Overpaid, underperforming, and then the Shakira thing on top of it. It's just now, and again, it's the casual supporters, people who really support the club, believe in the club, and call themselves Kool-Aid. Those folks know what's going on, and they still respect PK. He still has a lot to offer. He's another one of those players. If you go back, most Barcelona fans haven't been following the club long enough to remember, but back in 2008, 2009, that era, we were so deep that we had a Copa del Rey squad and we had our go-to La Liga and Champions League squad. So we had a healthy rotation. So players like Piqué, Roberto, Kessié, some others, they're going to get their time. Memphis Depay, they're going to get their time in Copa del Rey against the lower level La Liga teams. And we're going to have a healthy rotation like Xavi wanted.
Yeah, that's important, especially with the congested schedule. So for right back, you're giving out Koundé and I'm giving out Pavard.
I'm going Koundé, yeah.
Is Koundé good attacking wise? I mean, I saw the assist for Levy's goal. That was crazy.
Yeah, it's his passing. He's not gonna overlap on that right wing, but he's gonna actually pinch inside a little bit, get that maybe lateral pass, and then look for something over the top, like you saw against Lewandowski.
So we got the same situation going on. So Pavard doesn't go past the halfway line. What I'm hearing is Koundé doesn't go past the halfway line.
Not generally. Yeah. But I will say, I think Koundé's got the defensive edge over Pavard. Pace for sure.
Yeah.
Recovery-wise, he's definitely got him beat on that.
I know this is going to piss off Bayern fans, right? And I have been praising Pavard recently, but I'm going to have to go with Koundé because I know what he can do.
Yeah, that's fair.
I know he's a little bit faster than Pavard. His tackling is he's just more energetic. I think attackers wouldn't enjoy playing against someone like Koundé where, you can get past him, but he has the pace to recover. Whereas Pavard, you get past him and it's like, he takes a while to get there. And so I can understand that.
Okay.
I'm going to
Koundé.
I'm going to give you Koundé. Damn, that's crazy. We already got one Barca player in here. All right. Now let's go to a position that will probably have more debate.
Okay.
Right center back. I know this is Araujo, right?
Yeah. Araujo, as I've been corrected many a times. I don't know about you as an American. Do you get corrected on how you pronounce names?
Oh, often? Yeah. See, Mazararu. See, I keep
Mazararu. I don't
my
even
lips
know.
don't move the way they want them to move.
I say the same thing. I always say, listen, once a word comes over the American border, it is our American right to butcher it and say it however we want to say
in the Constitution, Article 3, Section 4.
Yeah.
So right center back. So you have Araujo.
Araujo, yeah.
What's his first name?
Ronald.
All right, Ronald. You got Ronald Trump. We got we have two options, right? Left center back is we have a defined left center back. That's Lucas Hernandez. But we're playing with two players. You got Upamecano and De Ligt. De Ligt, man, he's a leader. Now he conceded the penalty, but he's one of those players where he just brings composure to the back line. So he will start tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think him and Upamecano have almost had the same amount of games. Like, they're Upamecano, great season, but he has that Bozo gene in him. So he'll do something crazy, something stupid. He'll miss a clearance and then we concede. But he'll have a 10 out of 10 game. He'll pocket Mbappe and then miss the easiest defensive situation against some farmer, actually, some dude with a part-time job in the third division in the DFB Pokal game. That's Upamecano's game. He's good on one day, trash on the other. Well, not trash, just one mistake that cost him. So we're going to go with De Ligt versus Araujo.
Okay.
Man.
Can I throw an alternative at you?
What would you throw?
I'd actually put the two together. I would go De Ligt and Araujo together. I know that neither plays left center, but I think those two are the best. Those two are the best center backs for me.
Here's why I'm going to shut it down, right?
Okay.
I'm going to shut that down because I'm just going to give you Araujo, right? Okay. I'm just going to give him to you.
Okay,
the reason
cool.
is not because I think he's just too much better than De Ligt, is because De Ligt isn't playing as much. Like, he's a new player into this team, right? Now Guzman is easing him in. I mean, the beginning of it, the intensity was too much for him. It took him a game. He got used to it, and then he performed really well. He got headers. He was really every time he played, our back line was composed. Yeah. I would say in our next game, I'll probably put De Ligt in here, to be honest with you.
Okay. Okay.
But I will give you Araujo solely because he probably played more than De Ligt this season.
Sure. Yeah, he's been our go-to. He's started every match.
There we go. So I'm going to give you that. No conversation. Now, left center back, to compromise with you, you don't have a center back better than Upamecano at your club. I'm just going to put that out there.
Okay.
No, better than Lucas Hernandez at your club.
Okay, I was going to say that was a bit of a curveball.
I'm sorry. I don't care who you have. Throw them out there. Your left center back. They're not better than Lucas Hernandez.
Let me make sure. Lucas in it, left-footed, right?
Yeah.
Or correct, I should say. He's left-footed. He's got pace.
He has. He's okay. He's
over 6 feet.
He plays like Sergio Ramos with his aggressiveness, except he's just more accurate with his tackling and won't kill any player you have.
Yeah. He's clean for me, to be honest. He's pretty clean for me. I also went. So when I was just drafting it out on my own, I went Araujo and De Ligt for the reason that you said earlier. De Ligt is a leader, and I love his passing ability as well. But you're more familiar, and if you yourself would pick Hernandez over De Ligt, I'll trust your experience on that.
Has been our best center back for. I mean, look. So when we bought him from Atletico, he had an ACL injury or a knee injury, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't supposed to be where people were thinking, why did Bayern spend 70 million on this guy? He's going to flop. He came in and he was injury prone for about a year.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 seasons, just been going up and up and up. And he pocketed Neymar. Like when Bayern played PSG at home and away, like people don't remember this because we lost the game. But Neymar was in Hernandez's pocket. Mbappe was in his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Lucas is an unbelievable defender. And, I think on the field, like Hansi Flick never played him at center back because he would always play Alaba and use the excuse of Alaba's passing range being better as to why he would play Lucas at left back.
Yeah.
And now Lucas, his passing range has gotten better. And I wonder if that was more if he took the criticism and improved, or he always had that, but Flick never really wanted to use him. So with a manager that rates him and his fitness being really good now, Lucas Hernandez, he's the guy for me. He's just exceptional. That's why we spent that much money on him.
Okay. Listen, I'll meet you halfway with that. I'll go Araujo.
It'd be Eric Garcia. Is Eric Garcia your left center back?
Yes. When Eric Garcia plays, he's left center back. PK will also play there, but PK is not making this squad. Yeah, and Eric Garcia, I love him. He's a fan favorite. He's got that tenacity. But what sometimes people don't realize is that if you are consistently coming in with last second challenges, sliding tackles to save the day, it looks great and you look like a hero, but there is an argument to be made that you shouldn't be in a position where you are consistently having to make those challenges, those diving saves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's true. All right. So to recap, goalkeeper, we went with Neuer. Right back, I gave you Koundé. Well, we went with Koundé. I think we both agreed, right? It's not like I gave it to you.
It's a weak position for both clubs.
Right. Well, I wouldn't say it's weak for us anymore because we have Noose on the bench.
Okay.
And he was Ajax's right back. So the difference is Pavard is just playing really well defensively and putting in a shift. So you can't just take him out, right? And So we went with Araujo, right center back.
Yep.
Against De Ligt. I said in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe, I would put De Ligt in there because I think De Ligt is giving Bayern so much leadership. Whenever he plays, he's composed. But because of Araujo's game time and how solid he is, and De Ligt's lack of game time, he's only, I think, started 3 of our games in the Bundesliga. So I'll give him. We'll put Araujo in there. And now we're doing Lucas Hernandez for the people that are joining. Left back is probably the easiest to pick. You have Balde, right?
Balde's been starting. Yes, he's started most of the La Liga matches. But I mean, I think this is a big occasion. It's an obvious choice, of course. Alba? We both agree on it. Jordi Alba, right?
Yeah.
Just kidding. It's going to be Alphonso Davies, right?
No, I was asking if Alba's starting.
Oh! For this week, for Barcelona, I bet you it'll be Balde. I bet you it'll be Balde.
Oh,
yeah. I totally being sarcastic about Jordi Alba starting.
No, I'm annoyed now because now crap. I was hoping Jordi Alba would start because the last time he played us, this dude was it was weird. The intensity was crazy. So.
Yeah, dude. Listen, all respect to Jordi Alba. He has a special place in my heart. He's won so many trophies for Barcelona. He's incredible on the attack, but the last 2-3 seasons, we've seen a steady decline. He's pretty one-dimensional now. He's lost a step pace-wise, and he's never been the strongest defender. So I love Jordi Alba's special place in my heart, but it's Balde's time at Barcelona now.
Yeah. So Alphonso Davies is it. He's going to get in
all day. Yeah.
Like this dude could have a poor game, and for most left backs, it'd be a great game, right?
Yeah. He could play one leg and still be good. You know what I'm saying?
His pace is exceptional. And I was reading a comment from a Bayern fan on Twitter. He got cooked for this. He was like, Davies isn't the best defender. And I was just seeing the replies. And it's like, I don't know why people have this conception that Alphonso Davies is this fullback. He's not even a left back. He's just, a wing back that just attacks. And I'm like, bro, he puts in so much defensive work. He's running back to get back there. His side is our most used side. And actually, no, it's been the other side this season. But his side is always active. Sane, I don't see goals coming from that side. He made a mistake against Stuttgart, but in a crazy fashion, a really rare mistake. In a crazy fashion, he was probably one of our man of the matches. Like his performance was great. He was cooking them. So Davies all day.
Yeah. I got no argument against that.
All right. This is gonna get meaty now.
Yeah.
So we went with a 4-2-3-1. That means 2 central midfielders or CDMs.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your main midfielder before we get in here? Who's your main guy right now?
So I hate to say it, but Busquets is still pretty undroppable. We're working in De Jong. He's getting significant time in that pivot role. But Barcelona, as we discussed earlier, plays a 4-3-3. And so with the three midfielders, that holding defensive mid is crucial to be that pivot, particularly on the attack.
Yeah.
And Boosie plays it like nobody else. I don't even
When are we going
understand
to give
it.
De Jong his opportunity to be that player? That was supposed to be his role.
He's getting more time this season than he was last season, which is good. But it's just, and I can't explain it. I've kind of changed my opinion a little bit, and I'm kind of worried because if Xavi has a system that is so reliant on one particular player who is the only one who can play the pivot role the right way, then is that the right system? If Boosie leaves and nobody can play the pivot role to Xavi's expectations, then do we need to change the system? You know what I mean? Because Frankie de Jong is a quality player. If we can't get the best out of him, something's wrong.
Yeah, dude, when I watched the guy play for the Netherlands, I'm like, this is a different player.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, De Jong's one of those footballers where you got to build the team around him.
Yeah.
So yeah, because he'll do everything.
Yeah.
His passing is just beautiful. His movements, his touches. So this is a midfield. I would have taken him at Bayern, to be honest, but I think he likes the sunny weather too much because
there's an argument to be made that it would be better for him professionally to go to somewhere like Bayern where he's going to get to play a double pivot role. But I'm still holding out, hoping beyond hope that he works it out and is our future CDM. That's what I want for Frankie de Jong.
So, okay, CDM 1, Kimmich versus Busquets. That's how it sounds to me. So Kimmich, now I wouldn't say Kimmich is a CDM, but I'll say he's the guy that sets the tempo for our games, and that's exactly what Sergio Busquets does.
Yes.
He knows when to break lines with his passes, when to keep it simple, when to, pass around pressure or do a cute touch and get away from a team. So those players play a similar role. So I'm going to go with Kimmich. As much as I rate Sergio Busquets, I think he plays football at his own pace. And I love that. This dude doesn't even need pace. He just walks.
He plays football in a phone booth, man. Like,
dude, you gotta love it. And, he's a better dribbler than a lot of these wingers that just push the ball past you and run after it. Yeah. He'll just do a nice little La Croqueta and just move on.
Yes,
but I think Kimmich.
So
Kimmich
since we're doing 4-2-3-1, it does change things a bit for me. If we were doing 3 in the midfield, I'd be pushing for Busquets over Kimmich. However, since we're playing 2 CDMs, I'm going to give Kimmich over Boosie in that role, but I'm going to ask for De Jong in the other role to pair with Kimmich.
So have Frankie's performances been really good?
I'm going to say yes. He has come out with a mentality that, to me, I'm reading it as he is trying to prove himself again at Barcelona. I think a lot of people overlook the fact that he's had to play with a B team for the last 18 months. At this time last year, we were promoting Barca B players. We were playing defenders at forward. We were putting together a patchwork team, and Frankie de Jong was there the whole time. Pedri was injured. Ansu was injured. All of these players, and Frankie de Jong is asked to carry the whole club. So I think unreasonable expectations, and now he finally has the players around him where he doesn't have to carry the full load, and I think he's seeing this as a fresh opportunity, and he's answering the call. So for me, I'm happy with his performance.
So who's ahead of him? Was it Gavi?
Gavi, yeah. So Gavi is emerging as good of a choice, but a different choice than Frankie de Jong. It's a little bit more on the attack, a little bit less on the defense.
But he presses well too. So
Gavi has tremendous energy. He's quickly become a fan favorite because of it. He's a little bulldog.
Right. So so if Xavi had a choice tomorrow,
Yeah.
Is he picking, or no, Xavi? If he had a choice tomorrow, is he picking Gavi or De Jong?
Are we, if for Barcelona's 3 in the midfield?
Well, I guess.
Or are we sticking with our formation of 2 in the midfield?
If it was 3 in the midfield, wouldn't they both start?
No, because it would be Pedri.
Oh,
Busi.
Pedri, my bad.
Yeah.
We considered Pedri an attacker in this, 4-2-3-1.
I gotcha.
But if he had to play a double pivot, it would be Busquets and Gavi, wouldn't it?
It'd probably be De Jong. If we played a double pivot with an attacker, it would probably be De Jong. Yeah,
that's the answer I wanted to hear. So we went with Kimmich over Busquets.
Kimmich over Busquets. Yes, in this formation. I want to be clear because people are going to give me guff for this.
Even if it was a 4-3-3, I would still be trying to put Kimmich in here in Busquets' position. I think Kimmich his passing is great. I think if tomorrow, if Barcelona find a way to shut Kimmich out of the game, we will struggle because Kimmich does everything. His passing is crazy. Like, I literally looked at Davies' goal, and I don't know why I didn't remember it, or not his goal. Matisse Tel's goal, our 17-year-old Lewandowski. He's black, and look, he's French Lewandowski. But so I looked at the goal, and it was Kimmich that made the pass. I didn't realize that. I thought it was De Ligt or Lucas Hernandez at the back. It was Kimmich. He made the pass to Davies, and Davies touched it, nutmegged someone, and made the assist for the goal. Yeah. So Kimmich is so important to our game. I think I would put Kimmich in here, even if it was a 4-3-3. But let's say it's still a 4-2-3.
We're going Kimmich for this. We agree on that. Yeah.
And I would argue that Sabitzer is so in form right now. I know, right? See, that's how I would. If you told me that, I would have had your exact reaction, because this is a guy I didn't want at Bayern. Sabitzer, he spams shots. He used to be a really terrible footballer. I still don't rate his ability, but I rate the balance that he put into this team. We haven't had this balance since Thiago left. So Bayern defend. I don't think we've conceded a single, one of those counterattack goals where they just zoom through us anymore. We don't do that anymore. We have a really fast back line, but Nagelsmann, credit to him, he drilled the system where if Kimmich is pressing high after we lose the ball, Sabitzer comes back. And every time, Sabitzer is just so good at just, being in the right position and breaking out play. He's really helping us on the transitions. So I would say Sabitzer is also important to Bayern, but I understand where you're coming from with De Jong, because I rate De Jong way higher. So I will give you Frankie De Jong, because he's a better footballer. If De Jong was in Bayern's team, he would do what Sabitzer does for us better.
I agree with that. Everything you were saying about Sabitzer, I'm sitting here thinking, Frankie does that. Frankie does that too. And I'm a huge Frankie De Jong fan. One of my favorites. I'm glad that he stayed. And for me, I think if he played for Bayern Munich, I think he's playing right alongside Kimmich.
Yeah. I don't think there's a universe where I'd be in my right mind to compare Sabitzer to De Jong. No. Right wing. Good for you. Right wing. We're moving into the attack now. This is where it gets fun. So, is Dembele playing on the right or the left?
So, most matches we have lined up with Dembele on the left, Rafinha on the right. However, during large chunks of the match, they'll switch. Or later in the match, Rafinha comes off for, say, an Ansu, who will play left, and Dembele goes to the right. So I would say it's 60-40 one way or the other. It's kind of split time.
Well, so Kingsley Coman's injured, so he's not part of the conversation. What are we going to put him in a combined 11 for if he's not even playing? Right?
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I mean, even if he was in here, he's not in form like he was last season, for example. But because I like him, Ousmane Dembele, I didn't want him at Bayern because I thought he was still injury prone. But this guy must have been taking steroids or something, because how is he not getting injured? I was expecting some hospital logos or something.
Bro, so
he's staying fit.
Yeah, so Dembele, I've got Dembele at right wing for our combined 11.
I do too.
My supporter, sorry, go ahead.
I do too, because look, the alternative here is, Well, Kingsley Coman is our main right winger. Tomorrow, it's probably going to be between Musiala and Serge Gnabry
Yeah.
to start at right wing. Gnabry's he signed a new contract and he's trash. I don't know if he's still on that vegan diet. He plays like one now. No energy, just sloppy.
Yeah. Yeah. Dembele is it for me, man.
Yeah, he's in we're putting him in here.
Listen, I was a huge advocate for Dembele through all of his injuries. For 4 years, I'd sit here and say, just wait, give him time. One more injury, he'll get over it, he'll come back. And every time he came back, you'd see flashes of brilliance, but then injured again. And it was so frustrating. And then he was very selfish with his contract negotiations earlier in January. So I was spreading a lot of hate on Dembele, but I gave him a fresh start with this new contract. I'm loving what he's doing. He's pretty unstoppable right now.
Well, I agree. He's playing really well, but Savvy, man, why would he compare this man to Neymar? What's wrong with that? Neymar is in the form of his life, and he's
I have been told by other people that I've had conversations with that if you ask a knowledgeable French national team supporter, they will tell you that Dembele has the potential to be better than Mbappe.
Wow.
It's not my opinion. I think that he can be up there in the conversation, but he's got a lot to prove.
It's hilarious because I think Bayern were pretty close to signing him when Barca wanted to get rid of him. We were linked to him. We ended up going with Mane. I think if Dembele went out of Barca, Bayern would have been one of the destinations. So in a different universe, I'm sitting here arguing with you, saying Dembele is going to be better than Neymar or something. Well, look, Neymar is one of the greatest footballers of his generation.
Yeah,
maybe not all time, right? I'll put him in there. Like Neymar did crazy things at Barca. He won it all. He's going to get the Ballon d'Or. Brazil's probably going to get far in the World Cup. He's in the form of his life until his sister's birthday comes up and he needs to take 2 months off of football and injure his knee again. So I wouldn't put Dembele anywhere near Neymar, in my personal opinion, but he's still a great footballer. And I like how he plays right foot, left foot. It doesn't matter for him.
Yeah.
It would be Kingsley Coman versus Dembele, but Coman's injured. So it's probably going to be Musiala versus Dembele. Musiala's a wonderful kid, great footballer, but
not quite there yet.
Dembele has the experience. I'll say Musiala is he's up there in the Bundesliga top scorer. I mean, he's in form, but the last 2 games, he scored a goal last game, and you can tell he's really hungry. So Dembele right wing. Now let's move on. CAM, central attacking midfielder, right?
Yeah.
Behind the striker, attacking midfielder, whatever you want to call it. Thomas Müller it would be that guy for us. And I'm guessing you're going to say
Pedri.
Of course.
Yes.
And now the difference between the two players is very telling. Pedri Muller's Brazilian. No. Pedri's Brazilian, Muller's German.
Spanish.
No. I'm saying their play styles.
Pedri, okay.
Like that's how different they are.
I'm with
Pedri,
you. Yeah.
He has the skill. Like his first touch is good. Like he plays like a Brazilian in a sense.
Yeah.
And Thomas Müller is a German engine. That's why I said German, because he's efficient.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like he's really effective. Like if you looked at boxing, Müller would be like Pedri would be like Floyd Mayweather. Everything he does looks good, right? The movement,
very technical,
right? Very technical. Müller would be Manny Pacquiao, maybe. Just like controlled aggression, like effective aggression.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let me ask, who would you put in here? Like, let's say you were comparing Müller and Pedri and what they do for their teams.
Yep.
Who are you going to put in here? I'm going to go with you first.
So, like you said, I think both bring something a little bit different to the table. I see Pedri as playing more with the other two midfielders, and Mueller pushing forward a little bit more, is playing almost like a center forward underneath, who's going to be our number 9. So I think one's going to be more involved in the buildup, and one's going to be more involved in the finishing. So
who's going to be more involved in the finishing?
I think Mueller. I think Mueller's going to get into the box.
Well, he
a little
usually
bit more
scores
often
against Barca, but I wouldn't say, he's a pure finisher. He's a chance creator. Like his passing is his biggest strength. So Muller's funny because you went from goal scorer, World Cup top scorer in a single World Cup, and then now he's just chilling at the back, or not at the back, like on the edge of the box. Those passes, that vision, it's there for him.
But that's more of his role now at Bayern.
Yeah, before you say anything, Chico, welcome. Thank you so much for becoming a member. That's awesome. So, yeah.
Shout out to new members.
Here's the thing. My heart for football is saying, my heart for Bayern is saying Muller.
Mm-hmm.
My brain is saying Muller, but I can understand why there's disagreement. I know you're not going to change my mind. I'm not going to change your mind. So
that's probably accurate.
We're just gonna let this happen. No one's at Cam. We bring Xavi in here. We'll play Xavi. We'll just let it be there. Muller / Pedri, because I think it's just gonna be a long conversation. Like Thomas Muller, so he sets the tempo for our games.
Yeah.
Pedri does the same for you. He sets the tempo for your attack and everything. Muller does it with his movement, his spatial awareness.
Yeah, so, to each his own on that one, I think.
Right. I think Barca fans are going to say Pedri. Bayern fans aren't. We're not going to compromise on Thomas Muller. This is one of our greatest players.
He's a legend. He's a legend.
And he's still playing, at that level. He's still like one of our most important players. So, I mean, I think a better conversation would have been Pedri versus Musiala.
Sure.
But even there, like Bayern fans they're not going to compromise on Pedri.
Yeah. Is Musiala like your golden boy? He's the face of the next generation coming up.
I think he's going to win. If he doesn't win the award, something's rigged.
Nice.
So him and wait, how old's Pedri?
Pedri won golden boy last year, so I don't think he can. I'm not sure on the eligibility for it, but I don't. I
oh no,
don't
he's
know
19.
Yeah. Oh, he's young. Yeah.
Bro, I thought he was 21 though.
Nah, he's young, dude. Like
he plays like he's like 25, mature.
The composure on Pedri is insane.
Yeah.
He doesn't get rattled.
That's crazy. So, I mean, Pedri Musiala would have been a better, more fun conversation because, I don't know.
We'll do that for second leg.
We'll leave that for the second leg. But Musiala isn't playing in that. Musiala is in form, but let's not talk about that because Jamal hasn't been in form in the last 2 games. He had a little knock. He started the season great. Left wing. This is it would have been Dembele Sané, but we agreed that Dembele plays on both sides almost equally, so we went with him at the right wing because it's easier, and we would want him in the same team as Leroy Sané, right?
Sure. Yeah,
wait,
it's a lot of pace.
Who would be your other winger?
So if Ansu Fati was 90 minutes match fit, it would be Ansu Fati. But he is still working up to that. He's playing like 15, 20. I think the most he's played is 45 minutes. Could be wrong about that. But he is not 90 minutes match fit. So
that's very smart from the manager because coming back from almost a year out, like that's.
Yeah, he had back-to-back injuries there that kept him out for a while. So we brought back one of our former medical staff to be the head guy now, and he's a much more patient approach to bring.
No, that's important because I think if Xavi was a different manager, he would be trying to rush him. Play your best 11 against Bayern, but if he's just 45 minutes, 20 minutes here and there.
Yeah.
Well, I know Ferran Torres ain't better than Leroy Sané. So
no. Let me ask you this: Is Mane an option out there, or are we saving him for a forward position?
We're saving Mane, but we already know what's going to happen with the next pick. It's going to be Leroy Sané. Sané, bro, he lives. I don't know why, but ESPN or Sky Sports, they always do a piece every transfer window about Sané's time at Bayern. And then he
Really?
immediately turned it around and starts performing crazy.
Yeah.
So Sané's in form right now. He's loving football. He was our best player against Inter, man of the match. He's such a cold footballer. I think in this game, the striker is very irrelevant because how often do you see your striker score in a big Champions League game where the opposition have good defenders? If you have Lucas Hernandez next to you playing against you, you're not going to have a lot of space, right? So strikers are limited in what they can do. So your wingers have to step up. This game is going to be about Dembele, Sané, Ansu Fati if he plays, and Ferran Torres, Rafinha. It's going to be about them. It's not going to be, which is why it's crucial if Gnabry plays tomorrow because he's trash right now. So we need Musiala to play so we can have a little bit more influence on the game. So this game is going to be about the wingers.
Yeah.
And if I want a winger to affect the game, a big game, and a special occasion, it's Leroy Sané. Under those lights, he loves the pressure. It's him.
I'll agree with you again under the condition that Ansu Fati is not fully match fit.
Well, but even if Fati was fit, like the way Sané's playing,
I hear you. I will put a pin in this and circle back once Ansu Fati has a full season of being healthy because he'll put up numbers that we haven't seen in a while.
That's
so I will say yes to now. Yes to what you're saying for now.
Because you're basically considering that UEFA will pair Bayern and Barca again next year, but they probably won't. You could be in the same pot and they would pair us together. I don't know why they love Bayern versus Barca so much. Okay,
I don't know.
So
Lots of viewers, I guess.
We went with Sané.
Sané, yes.
Striker Robert Lewandowski. He's like, we're not going to put Mane in here. Sadio Mane is an athlete more than a footballer. He's a good footballer, but he's not a great footballer. He's world class, but he's not elite level, Ballon d'Or winning world class. Ballon d'Orski's my guy. He goes in here. The Polish R9, it's easy.
I've been even more impressed with Lewandowski than I thought I was going to be.
I didn't tell you, but I told these Barca fans. They would always come on my channel. It's funny how football works. They would literally talk about how the Bundesliga was a farmers' league. Lewandowski couldn't do that in La Liga. And I'm like, good players are good everywhere in a good system. Lewandowski's enjoying his time at Barcelona. I don't think he'll get the 50 goals Messi got in a single season, but he's going to get close. He's gonna keep scoring.
He's going to keep scoring. We have more talent spread out than when it was Messi scoring his 50 goals. He did that by necessity. So Lewandowski, we have more options now. And Lewandowski, it's not just the goals, it's the assists, it's the leadership that he's providing these youngsters. Pedri, Gavi, Araujo, Rafinha, Dembele, they're all 22, 23 and younger. So Lewandowski coming in, putting his arm around those guys, showing them what it means to be a champion is huge. So the performance, the mentality in the locker room, on the pitch, I'm in love with Lewandowski.
I mean, people still don't believe I believe this, but I think it was a perfect time for Levy to leave Bayern. He's one of our legends. He did his thing, but Bayern Munich or Bayern, we move on. We've had players leave and we replace them. When Oliver Kahn left, everyone was like, we're never going to have another goalkeeper and then we had Neuer. When you're a club that's, capable of just being consistent in how you run, it's not going to be too hard to replace players. Now, there is some disagreement in the chat. People are saying Mane is going to make 25 to 30 goals in the Bundesliga in the first season. Well, you're comparing Mane to Robert Lewandowski. Mane isn't at that level where Levy doesn't have 2 games in a row where he doesn't, score or perform like this. Lewandowski's a professional. Everything he does is professional. His TikTok dances are professional. And even the way he's promoting your fan base,
dude,
not in a bad way, but he's
schmoozing us a bit. Yeah,
he's making y'all feel like he's been there for 10 years. He understands it. He's dancing with the fans. He does everything professionally. That's what I always loved about Lewandowski, right? He gave everything on the field. Even if he hated the tactic, he was going to play. And he's for the reason why I think he never, he only reached this new peak in the last 4 years. Probably because he was playing to get as many goals for himself as possible. Now he's a team player. You're talking about him, holding Pedri and talking to him, telling him how, where to be. You're talking about him being a leader, taking that responsibility. That only happened in the last 4 years. Lewandowski, from maybe 6 years ago, just wanted to score and wanted to move to Real Madrid. And then he ended up signing a new Bayern contract. He has that in him where he's a bit of a diva sometimes, but you kind of just learn to let it go because he's such a professional. So I don't think Lewandowski will be, a standout player tomorrow. He's a striker. He's going to be marked out of the game completely by De Ligt and Lucas Hernandez. He's going to have very little time on the ball, but his movement will make space for Dembele and Rafinha.
That's going to be our front three. It's going to be Dembele, Rafinha, Lewandowski. But I agree with you. I think it's going to be more of a midfield battle than anything else. I think the strikers will probably be marked out of this game. I think it's going to be a midfield battle. I think it's going to be down the wings.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that there's a lot of action. I'm hoping there's at least 3, if not 4 goals in this match, and I hope that it's not a draw.
I'll take. I don't want to draw, man.
No draw. Go for the win.
I want both teams to. Barcelona realize that it looks really bad if Bayern Munich are just beating you every year. So Xavi's saying, they're coming into this wanting to win, which is so important. That's a different mentality. So
it can be a statement match for Barcelona.
It could be, but Bayern Munich are also in a situation where people are doubting us again because we had 3 draws against teams a lot of teams would draw against. Like Union Berlin are the Bundesliga's Atletico Madrid. We drew to them 1-1.
Yeah.
We usually lose to Gladbach every year. They beat us 5-0 last year, 2-1, 2-1. We didn't win against them last year. Yeah. So a draw is an improvement. I consider that an improvement. Gladbach are that team that, our players just don't understand how to beat. And that's psychological. And, Stuttgart could have gone either way. We could have won that, but a penalty at the end. So, the context in our 3 draws, people say we're not in form, but the performances are good. We don't concede transitional goals like we used to. You don't see teams just breaking us down on the counters. So we're better defensively, with this, stability that Sabitzer gave us. But we'll see, right? Barcelona, it could be a psychological game where, if Bayern score 1, your players just go, crap, not again, right? You see Thomas Muller doing this.
Right.
It's like, crap.
Here we go again. Yeah.
Here comes the tweets on Twitter. So, all right, man. So let's recap with the team. A goalkeeper, we both went with Neuer. Verstappen, different conversation this time than it would have been a year ago. He's improving, but Neuer is just more stable. Right back, Koundé. Right center back, Araujo. Left center back, Lucas Hernandez. Davies, left back. No debate really about that. Midfield, it was Kimmich over Busquets. Kimmich is just in ridiculous form. Assist, goals, but also defensive work and just overall midfield generalship. Other midfielder, Frankie de Jong. Right wing, Ousmane Dembele. Central attacking midfielder. We decided we don't care enough to argue over Thomas Muller or Pedri. So we're just going to let the world decide. Let the game decide tomorrow.
Yeah. Let the community decide that one.
I don't think either of our fan bases are going to be arguing about that. There's never going to be an agreement. So we're going Switzerland neutral on that one. Left wing, Sane, a striker, no debate. We went with Choupo-Moting. No, I'm joking. Robert Lewandowski. That's it.
Nice.
All right, man. Thank you for coming on. For everyone, make sure you go subscribe to the Undefeated Mustache channel. The link's in the title. You can just click on his channel, and you can click on his name in the description. I appreciate you for coming on, man. I think both our anxiety tomorrow. Look, when we play against Barca, even when we beat you 8-2, when it was 4-2, I was like, we could lose. Like, I don't know. It's just football, right? When you're in that moment.
It's 2 big clubs on a big occasion, and I hope that both teams come to win. that there's action, that there's goals. And I hope that we see the best of both clubs, because I think even if you don't support either club, I'm hoping that there's going to be some good football going on, you know?
All right. Well, all right. See you. Thank you for coming in. I want to stop
Absolutely.
before the hour. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Mia, send me in peace. Oh, gosh.